Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing one of the topic that is city creation. In city creation, basically we are discussing another topic that is this file basically. So one of the person told that we can't ignore Sunil R. Nair's this word, this thing basically. That is Earth planet. This many land is getting divided, and this many land basically is controlling the whole world now. That is the 900 crore people. When world basically is going to end in last just 20-21 second basically, 21 millisecond basically, not second also basically. That is also very dangerous thing basically, just within 21 millisecond. Because one of the person told that basically universe is so fast basically, so fast that it will generate just within one half second basically, the matrix chain will generate basically. That is, the universe will know that basically the earth planet has separated, and the rule of universe is that basically you can't touch a planet basically. You can't touch a planet. Can't touch a planet means you can't end the planet basically. You can't do any big level changes in the planet basically. So that is earth planet basically you are going to do basically, and you have done this many times basically. That is the more than 100 times you have done this basically. More than 100 means as in that basically 102 times basically you have done this basically. So world basically like this basically, the earth planet group basically has created this chain system basically. And why they have done this, that basically the universe group only might be knowing why they are doing like this way the world end. And this way basically the world has ended 102 times basically. Here basically number basically doesn't matter. It can be 202 also basically. It can be 204 also. It can be 230 also basically. So anything basically can be number basically. So here basically the things basically are there. So one of the person told that the world is going to end, that is 100% sure. And this land basically which is divided, they are controlling the current world. They basically, if anybody tries to reach them basically, they immediately basically finish that person basically. That is the finish that group only basically, because nobody can track basically anybody basically. Because if this group basically say feel that basically somebody is tracking them basically, then they finish the entire city only basically. Sometimes they finish the entire city only basically. And that also basically is, sometimes basically one of the person told us sometimes basically entire city gets end basically. That basically is also a thing basically, because that is the rehearsal basically is ongoing of the world going to end. World is going to separate from this many land to this many land, and universe is also, universe group is also basically not supposed to track that basically, that this land is basically separating. Because universe law basically say that you can't separate the land basically. So you are going against universe law basically. So if universe, any of the group basically will know that basically that land is getting divided like this basically, so immediately basically certain level of action basically they will take. That basically what they take, that basically they only basically might be knowing. So one of the person told that this is like that basically. So that basically we have already discussed. Here basically we are discussing about the plan basically, that France told that basically we can't ignore Sunil R. Nair words basically, which has told basically that the land is getting separated, and then basically that within just 21 second basically, the 21 millisecond, the things will happen basically, whatever things basically I have discussed in previous video basically. So in this basically we discussed that basically whatever matrix basically it gets creates in this world basically, the resources are created. So one of the person told that the each and every human resource basically, the human resource group basically, how they do the thing basically. Because normal human in India basically, who is doing this basically? So they told that basically that are the rich people who only basically have the control. So that are Reliance, Tata Group is there. So Reliance basically is not into the IT industry, but he is into the IT energy industry basically. And he basically has created many software companies also basically. For example, Accenture basically. Who is the real owner of the Accenture basically? So it might possible that basically he might be the owner, Reliance Group basically. Who is the owner of the Patani basically? So it might possible that basically Reliance Group basically might be the owner of, because he basically don't want to involve into software sector basically, because he know that basically software sector is very dangerous basically. That's why he basically don't involve. He basically created few owners basically. That is Patani owner is there, Accenture owner basically is there. He basically created it basically, so that basically in future anything basically happens basically, in this basically he will not be involved. Why? Because he has created his dummy part owner basically, you can say dummy owner. That is basically, I'm giving the name dummy owner basically, and they basically like this basically many software company Reliance Group has created, and Reliance Group basically is connected with Tata Group also basically. So one of the percentage like this. So France here basically, that is not the topic basically. That basically is the normal thing. That basically everybody software company knows that basically Reliance is up to what level basically, and Tata Group is up to what level. So here basically we are discussing what basically, that is France Group basically. The France Group basically who say that basically we are up to this level. So they track that basically whatever matrix in this world basically is there, na basically they have resources basically. So one of the person to the in India basically the Tata is there and the Reliance groups are there. They handles the resources. So the assume that basically in India basically 1 lakh in India basically 1 crore matrix is created, and in world basically 100 crore matrix. Basically in previous video basically I had taken that 1 crore matrix in the world. So that is basically I am changing. Here it is. So number basically doesn't matter basically. The things basically what I am telling that basically matters, because number basically nobody in this world basically know, because each and every things basically are activated by the satellite groups, and they only basically deactivate us also basically. So like this basically the 1 crore matrix basically are there in this India basically, that is in India assume that basically there are 100 crore building, 100 crore house. They are basically not supposed to move left side, not supposed to move right side. For that basically the matrix has created, so that the building is not supposed to move. Otherwise basically in Mumbai basically there are 100 floors building basically. How they are standing basically? That is the question, na, basically. One normal cement basically can basically stand basically in this 100 floor buildings basically. It's not possible basically. Practically, see, it is impossible basically. Practically, it is impossible. So one of the person told that that is the thing basically. Here basically I have taken 1 crore matrix, and 1 crore matrix are basically connected with the satellite groups. That because normal nuclear power company basically can't handle the 100 crore building also basically. So you can just imagine each and every things are basically controlled by the satellites, and satellites is connecting up to this level basically. That is this. This we have already discussed. What is that? So you can just imagine basically. So one of the person told that the 100 floor building basically can't be handled by the normal nuclear power company basically. So for that basically the satellite groups are also basically there. So here basically we are telling that basically the France group are up to that level basically. So France group basically say that we have to basically check each and everything. For that basically we have to give some normal earthquakes basically in this area basically, that is this Asia land, American land, European land, and African land. So we have to give basically some small level earthquakes basically, but it will not harm basically. It is not supposed to harm. For that basically we are collecting few datas. In this basically the datas are sea water data basically that we have taken. So he actually told that basically instead of going so much of detail basically, we will do one thing. We will collect the data of the blood cells owner basically. In this basically we have discussed that basically there are 22 types of blood groups available, and they have basically owners basically. So we will collect that blood only basically. In that blood basically he might be having everything, na, basically, because from his blood only basically the whole world is basically is created. So we will basically extract that data only basically. So just see basically up to what level things are basically going to connect. So one of the person told that like that way basically we are going to collect the data. That actually France expert group basically told. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about the France experts groups.